Hey everyone, I'm Nkem, and today we're going to talk about career pivots.
Hi, I'm Nathalie, and I get to ask the first question to Riley. Can you describe how networking within the UCLA Anderson community and beyond played a role in your career pivot?
Sure. So I went through a pretty rigorous process with investment banking recruiting, which is all networking based. I think you've really got to network with 10 to 15 people at each company before they'll move you on in the process. And UCLA did a great job. Like Parker, the ACT teams did a great job of setting up these events. So companies came on campus, all the major investment banks. We got to meet folks there, and then from there you kind of branch out and start to meet more people in the office. So my first 2 months of the fall quarter were really just a crash course in networking. You know, I think I did 100 networking calls by the time I ended up getting a first offer, which was a lot, but it was a good experience, and I ended up at a place I'm really excited to go to. So, all right, Nkem, what advice would you give to prospective MBA students who are looking to pivot their careers based on your own experiences?
I think the advice I would give is just do it. Not to quote Nike or anything, but I think what's so important is that people actually just get out of their heads and into the action when it comes to pivoting. So that would be my advice. All right, I think it's my turn. Okay. What strategies did you find most effective when transitioning into a new industry or role, and how did the MBA support these strategies?
I think for me, I wanted to be really strategic about like the long-term trajectory of my career in a new industry, instead of just only focusing on that post-grad role. And what are some of like unique opportunities that the MBA could really afford me? Personally, I was pivoting from entertainment into healthcare, and in healthcare, there are a lot of rotational programs that are literally only available to full-time MBA grads right after graduation. So thinking about like how these rotational programs would really propel me in my career, give me a variety of experiences, just really seemed like the best way for me to like maximize on the opportunities here while also like taking the next 2 years to explore and continue the learning process. Noah.
Oh boy.
How have clubs prepared you for your future career, and what leadership opportunities have played a role?
I had the opportunity this year of being president of the Marketing Association, which I think was great in two folds. One, from a professional development standpoint, and just being able to understand like working with a team and leading a board of like 30 people was an experience I had never had before business school. So from that side, and just the people management was insane. But then I think what's so great about getting to be involved with the clubs is then also the professional development you get from the access between working with Parker, working with the academic centers, the different types of like DOJs and the companies that we visited, the alumni that we had access to, all through club leadership opportunities, like have set me up for so many different coffee chats, interview opportunities, job prospects, like everything. So 10 out of 10 would absolutely recommend getting involved with clubs. Get ready, everybody. Okay, Riley. This is for you. Can you share a challenge you face while trying to pivot your career through the MBA process and how you overcame it?
Sure. So I really came into business school with not a lot of background. I was coming from the Army, 5 years in the Army, came to Anderson, just a clean slate. And so I really had to build knowledge quickly. And what helped me with that was we had a summer immersion experience in finance. So you get accounting, you get valuation, kind of those key building block skills. And then once you get here, you kind of get to tap into the ACT network, the fellow students, and they put you through a pretty rigorous program. There's a lot of self-study, but there's a lot of support. And so I went from really a clean slate to being able to land a role in finance and investment banking. All right, I get to ask the next question. Noah.
Oh boy.
All right, Parker's mantra is trust the process.
Oh yeah.
Did you get pushed outside of your comfort zone? How were you steered?
Probably something we can all relate to in the full-time program is you leave your job to come here, which naturally is very uncomfortable. And you come into this school in this setting with Parker's goal of, we're gonna get you a job, whether it's an internship or a full-time job. And you have to truly trust the process to say, okay, I might not get it in September or October or November or December, but I'll get it in January or February or March. You have to play an active role. Like you still have to be working towards getting that job. You have to do your 100 reps of interviews and coffee chats. But if you trust it, kind of the chaos subsides and you see a path forward.
I like how you emphasize the word trust. The 100 coffee chats feels like maybe an arbitrary number, but when I went to my internship this summer and was working with other MBAs, like I definitely felt really proud of the way UCLA had like prepared us to be able to speak about ourselves and to come to the internships committed to the experience and like leaning into learning.
Yeah, I would totally echo that. So I think one of the things around like trusting the process actually was very much just refinding trust in yourself.
All right, Nkem, this one's coming your way.
Oh,
Get ready. Get an extra 5-second head start.
All right.
What would you tell the you from 2 years ago to do to get your job that would seem surprising?
That is a good question.
Yeah, I gave you a tough one.
Not only am I surprised, but I think if I was looking back to me being a teacher in South Korea before coming to Anderson, I would tell myself that even though you're doing something that might not be very in line with what people do right before business school, you will find opportunities where you think your weakness actually becomes a strength. My instruction, my teaching, being able to break down complex problems, hey, that was because I was a teacher, you know?
I love that.
So how do a bunch of strangers from different backgrounds come together to help each other change careers? Provide an experience.
I think one thing that's really cool about Anderson is how so many of our like recruiting and networking initiatives are student-led. And so by nature of that, we come in like completely strangers. We, through ACT and IPT, are just blindly hoping that the second years are going to give us their time and their care and their dedication, and that they're going to like be interested in us succeeding. And miraculously, it happens every year. I found myself just really grateful and impressed by the number of hours, even my like second years that weren't my IPT or ACT coaches that were just in healthcare are willing to take to talk to me, teach me things, give me feedback, and just come together in a really selfless way, honestly. And so I think that embodiment of the shared success is something I experience every day here. I did an entertainment ACT and IPT as well because I was just a little nervous about the pivot. Is it gonna work? And so I did both in tandem. And just seeing how open and honest every single coach I had was about their experience, their failures, their pain points, and how they overcame it was really cool for me to just see everyone be so vulnerable right off the bat.
It's funny, Nathalie, I did the same thing. I also did 2 ACT teams and 2 IPTs because I was like, kind of worried about this pivot. I did one that was tech and one that was marketing, and ended up having such a fantastic time, specifically with my IPT team last year. I still talk to my IPT coach.
That's all. I had a great experience. I don't think I would have gotten an internship or a subsequent job if it weren't for my ACT coach. I was definitely struggling a little bit, and he was like, hey, you need to pick this up, which I responded well to, and I still talk to him probably once a week, and he's one of my closest friends. And so the ACT program for me was like kind of pivotal to this whole thing working.
Yeah.
So I think we really hit the nail on the head here with the career pivots from industry to different roles. So thank you for joining our roundtable.